Good morning and welcome back to 19th of January 26. There you go, it's going quickly already. It's quite mild here but very overcast, I think the word is. Right, anyway, let's take you a walk through. I've been out and delivered a sofa back, the last of the ladies' 3 sofas that you've seen in the previous video. If you've watched that, well, I hope you have anyway, and I hope you like and subscribe. There you go, let's get that over with at the beginning of the video. So I've been and picked up a chair and I've got some stools that need to get done, so let's take you through and show you what's going on. Okay, cushions waiting to be collected. That was a zip repair. And there's some other bits and pieces, the antiques, that need to be got on with as soon as possible. This is the chair that I picked up this morning. It's in quite a sorry state, but we're replacing everything in that basically. New seat foam, new back fill. The sprung edge on the front here has collapsed, so I'm going to put a hard edge through there. It's a loose cover, so I'm hoping that the calico underneath has survived. And then we've got some stools to do. Here's one I prepared earlier. Let's pull that out so you can see better if you've not watched the video of me doing stool tops. There you go, there's a bar stool top with a spider. Anyway, my old colleague would have been screaming by now if he saw that spider. And we've got, so there's 3 in the black, 3 in the poppy red, which, yeah, I've got some poppy red in there. So, there you go, that's what's going on at the moment. I'm going to have a cup of tea and then get on with ripping this up. Well, first off, I'm going to do the stool tops and get on with ripping this up. I may show you some of the ripping up on this particular chair because it'd be interesting to see what we find. So it shouldn't be too long and I'll be back with you. Hello, right, getting on with stripping this chair. It is the following day, so let's take a quick walk through and see what came in yesterday. Okay, there's the stool tops that I need to get done, ready to go out. We have a blanket box going to be done in the fabric that's on it. We got 4 leather cushions to make, and then we got the stack of antique stuff that I need to get to at some point. I am expecting some seating to come in for a designer, but you know, that's been expected to come in for a long time. So this is what we're on with. You can see it's in quite a sorry state. This is a loose cover as far as I can tell because of the pair of zips on the side here. There you go. So I think it's a loose cover. I've got to see how the facings come off. Anyway, so you can join me whilst I rip that up. So let's get the camera set up and see how we get on. Right, cup of tea. Go and shut the door. So I might put the heating on. Might treat myself. Let's get on with ripping this up. Right, the cushions are being replaced. I need to have a look at this, see what's going on here. That's a feather and down cushion. Right, okay. I'll have to get, I wonder if I can. It's in good condition actually. It's the fibre in the cushion that has collapsed. I was hoping to get this done this week, and get it back to the customers this week. If I order cushions for it, that's definitely not going to be the case. Now, I think I've got a fibre seat cushion in stock that will replace that one. There we go. Let's check it in the job. Okay. Again, that's a little short. That's unfortunate. Right. Well, it looks like I won't be getting this back to the customer this week. Is that foam? I think there actually might be foam in there, you know. It is a foam. It is a foam cushion. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, that I could possibly get for this week. The fibre back I won't. So, I'll order them once I've got this ripped up. I should really order them now, but I want to get on with this video for you. Let's see what we've got here. The legs are bolted to the frame. You can see the bolts here. I'm guessing these are just screwed on the front. Yeah. It's a bit odd that I'm guessing the manufacturer had issues with fixings perhaps previously on other models. That's why they've chosen to bolt the legs onto the back of the frame. Legs on furniture, so long as they're put on properly, should be fine on these threads. The problems occur when people start dragging their furniture across the floor for whatever reason, and that loosens up the fixings, and then once they're loose the legs move, and then you get all sorts of trouble. So there you go. Quite an interesting fixing. So just loosen these bolts off on here, and then those legs come out. So, do the facings just pop off? Let's see. I'm curious because those facings feel like they're potentially on a thread. If that's the case, they're not going to just pop off. I don't understand how they've done facings with a loose cover like this. I think they're on a thread, so are they? Let's see if I can see. They are not coming off without damaging something. Maybe the cover on these is just tucked in, I'm not sure. No, that's on a bolt. That's, if I try putting them off, so is it a loose cover or not a loose cover? That's the thing. because you can't get into that bottom cloth because of that. Ah, right. We have a zip. Let's see if I can show you this. There we go. We have a zip on the calico which allows you access through the side of the arm to get those facings off. Wow. Okay. Two wing nuts on there and the facings are bolted on like I thought. Okay. Well, so as you can see, this is a loose cover on this particular chair. We're not making or putting back a loose cover on the chair. We're going to be putting an upholstered cover on there. So there you go. That's the facing. Goes through the frame. Then a wing nut on there. Okay, so that's how they've done those facings. Yeah, we're not putting a loose cover back on these. These are being upholstered. These chairs, or this chair. Personally, I'm not a fan of loose covers. I put money on the fact that this has probably never been off in its entire life, ever washed. They tend to come loose, look baggy. Loose covers, I think, were something from 20 years ago. Not something you see a lot of now. There you go. So I'll show you this label in a second. These big dog chew style sausages. Don't they look like dentist sticks for your dog? I don't think he'd enjoy chewing that though. This has come from Multi-York. I found the label on it. I'll show you that in a second. So, couldn't tell you when it was manufactured, but there you go. Maybe somebody out there has one of these in their lounge. So we'll get these covers off. And then I'll briefly explain to you the rest of it that I'm going to strip off, and I'll do that off camera because I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit more compact if I can. I think the hour long, when they're edited down, the hour long plus ones are possibly a little long for your enjoyment listening to me waffle on. But if you enjoy the longer videos, let me know in the comments. Quite frankly, they are a little easier for me to do. Less thought involved or editing. But as I say time and again, these aren't really meant to be instructional videos. They just show you what's going on in my workshop, and if you pick up something along the way, that's great. That one was a little bit tricky to get on. It'd be awkward when you're on your hands and knees in a lounge with your hand stuffed up the side of a chair to do. Oh, lots of crumbs. Covers just seem to trap everything. Oh, right there. That's the cover off. Have any of you spotted the label? There you go. It's from Multi-York. Can you see that? Guess what the wash and care instructions are for a loose cover? Can you guess? Dry clean only. Right, so that answers my question. I put money on that. That has never been taken off and sent away to be cleaned. There you go. In its new home. Yeah, have we got a date? That was made on the 1st Feb 2016. There you go. There you go. Hopefully you can see that. That's the label on there. Give that back to the customer. Right, let's see. So, what's going to come off of this? The bottom cloth, the outside arms, outside back. The seat's going to have to come out because it's collapsed. It's a sprung unit seat and that front edge has collapsed, and that may be what this hole is in the bottom here. It may be an indication of what's collapsed. Let's show you. Let's see together. Right. There you go. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Can you see that there? I very rarely see this happen with these type of springs. Very rarely. I would suggest. Wow. That's odd. That is very odd. 1, 2, 3 of them have snapped. Yeah, they should be attached. Blow the rubbish off of there. Okay, stand it up, get a bit more light on it. There you go. That should be on top of this rail here. They have snapped off there. That's unusual. Not something I see happen very often with these. So I'm going to have to order a spring unit for this as well. So it's turning out to be a longer job than I thought. Isn't that about right? So let me get this stripped, ready for the top cover. Then I can order a replacement spring unit for it as well, whilst I'm ordering the cushions. So there you have it. I thought it was going to be a quick job, this one, but there you go. Can't win them all. So we'll be back shortly when it's stripped. Right, my apologies. I got carried away, forgot about you. Excuse me. And I've got one arm done and this arm partially done. As you saw in the last clip, this seat spring is knackered. The actual tabs on the front of this spring have broken off. Don't see that happen. Not very often, if at all. So I've had to order a replacement seat spring. So it's only so far I can get with this one today. I can get the arms on, which I'm doing now as we speak. I can get the inside back in, and that's where I'm going to have to stop until the spring, replacement seat spring, comes in, which may be in tomorrow if I'm lucky. So there we go. So I'm tucking this fabric through the back here. It's got a bit of an unusual setup, the back of this. Spin it round and I can show you. We've got, hopefully you can see this slot here through the back. So this is where this fabric's got to come and get stapled off in the bottom of the fabric there. So let's spin this round, back round again. And now, who did that song, You Spin Me Right Round Like a Record? Was it Doctor and the Medics? Not sure, I think it was. There you go, let's get you a bit closer. Right, so let's get this arm on. And then I can have a cup of tea. So the arm is positioned, it's stapled at the bottom, the seat part, and over the top here now. So that's all on. So that's in position. We've got a couple of staples at the back of the arm here. I'm going to make some cuts to put this arm through. It's been quite busy today. People in, people asking questions. What are people asking about? Well, we've had a lady in that wants some seating making for her kitchen, but she's taken on the task of organising herself rather than having an interior designer do it for, which is nothing wrong with that, but she's discovering rapidly that you can't go to a joiner or an upholsterer and say, can you make me some seating? Yes, of course we can make you some seating. What would you like? Well, don't know. Can I just have some seating? Well, yes, but we need to know what it is that you want. And she's realising that there's a little bit more to it than she thought. I suspect she thought it would be as easy as going to one of these big warehouses and buying a sofa. But anyway, and what was the other one? Quite an interesting one. What do you call them? I want to know what I want to say trap, but I don't think it is a trap. It's one of the horse-drawn buggies that just has a single seat on it. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments what it's called. Is it a trap? I'm not sure. If you do know, let me know. Right, a few staples in the back here. Let's just pull this through and then I can show you doing the front, getting the pleats in the front. As always, we want the same amount of pleats in both arms. I've gone to the effort of making the stripes match. So let's make sure we've got the same amount of pleats in it, shall we? Let's move this back a little bit. Okay. So I'm starting with the bottom, pull the fabric round, trying to keep this stripe as a nice curve on it, coming around the front of the arm, stapling it in the centre of the facing so I know that it's going to be covered when we put the facing board on. So pull this, ease it over with a hand and up to the top in the centre of the P, just below the centre of the P on the facing. Pull the fabric round and fill the gap. We've got 2 holes in these facings. Let me get the facing for these bolt fixings here. See them? They need to make sure we need to keep them clear. It's a lovely fabric. This is 100% wool, Scottish wool, from a company called Isle Mill. If you want to try and source something like it yourself, I can highly recommend it. From an upholsterer's point of view, it's very nice to work with. It's very good quality, but like everything in life, it's not the cheapest for the quality product. So how many plates have we got in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 'I'm cutting out the excess fabric because I want this facing to go up tight. Don't want any gaps. So we need to keep as much of the lumps out of this as we can. That's number 3. So you sort of put them in where they naturally want to lay. 3. Got my back to you. Let's try and duck underneath this so you can see. 3. Number 4. Number 5. Final one, number 6. Just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So that's pretty much both of the arms on now. Just got to do a similar process at the back here. I will spin it round so you can see what's going on. Oh, that's not a pleasant noise, is it? Right. So we've got just 2 pleats in the back here, and we've got the fabric stapled in as far as we can because we've got the outside back to come down here. I want to make sure we clear that. Bit cack-handed, but I'm trying to stay out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. First pleat going in. These are a lot bigger pleats than in the front because basically they're not going to be as seen as the front because they're going to get hidden by the outside back, or should I say a good portion of them is going to be hidden by the outside back. But we're not going to just put random ones in. We want them to be the same on both sides. Okay. So, a little snip there. Now, I'm sure you've noticed I haven't finished off the bottom of the arm, but I can't do that until the seat is in. So that is pretty much as far as I can get with the arms. I can put the back in, but then there's not much else I can do until the seat spring has arrived. So I've got other stuff in the workshop I can make a start on, or certainly start on unpicking it. And hopefully the spring's in tomorrow. So I think I'm going to get the inside back on this today, and that will do me for today because I'm going to have to wait for the spring. Simple as that. So let's get this laid onto its back. I can take some measurements for the inside back, get that cut, trying to keep the stripe in the centre just because we can. So I'll get the inside back on this and I'll get back to you when I'm putting the spring in, or if something else interesting turns up this week, because this is what the format's going to be, more about what's going on during the week, not going right the way through a piece. So the stops and starts will be included. So keep going. Currently waiting for the spring to come in and the cushion fills to come in for this chair here laying on its back. I've done everything I can do on it, to be honest with you now. The cushions are sewn, waiting for the fills. Like I say, I'm waiting for the replacement spring unit. I'm hoping that's in today with the cushions. Wishful thinking perhaps. So in the meantime, I've got a blanket box. Well, I can't remember what the customer called it, a toy box, because she remembers it as a kid. You know, it's nothing special, but it has sentimental value. She remembers even as a child hiding in it with you know, etc. So it's very simple, straightforward. We're going to replace the foam on top because I think that's just got fibre wadding on top of there, so it's got no real comfort. So we're just going to put a piece of 1-inch foam on there for her. That should be straightforward. There's no lining or anything in it, but it has got some interesting glides, elliptical glides there. That probably dates it very well. Nice little things. So I'll get on with that. It's going to be in this fabric here, just a little bit darker, a faux brush linen, but it's a very durable one, that is. So I'll get on with ripping this up. Shouldn't take too long to do this. I'm hoping to get this done and fingers crossed the bits turn up for the chair. So on with that. Yeah, I need to put the kettle on. I need to make a couple of phone calls. I'll get this ripped up and I'll come back to you at that point. Hey, spring units in. There you go. Spring unit, old units in the bin. New spring unit here. So you've not seen me install a spring unit before, so I thought I'd show you this, and then I really need to get on with getting this done. That's my plan this morning. Okay, so the easiest way to get this spring unit in is to put it in from the bottom, because it avoids damaging this fabric here. So let's see how we do. So let's get it the right way up. To start with, this goes over here. Then the arms need to go through the side of the frame. Yes, it's a bit fiddly to start with. It's going to hit me on the head. May have to drill some additional holes in these straps. We will see. Right, that's that part in. Put it towards the front. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use that there. Now with this particular spring unit, it's coming up a little bit short to the front. So what I may do is put a piece of timber along here. It helps give it a more stable edge, we find, or I find, and it also gives me something to staple to if I need to, rather than having to stitch everything on. So, time for the big staple gun. The framing staples, 1-inch framing staples on here, and we're going to attempt to get this unit into position. Yep, the staple's just about the right size. Two staples in each strap, just for added security, just because I can. That one's missed and bent up. You don't want to get your hands anywhere near this. Getting one of these fired into your hand is not very pleasant. And there you go. Right, so we need to try and get some tension in these front to back. So I'm going to get me ball nose pliers to hold the strap. If it does just about, we're not going to have to drill any holes in the straps at the back, fortunately. Wonder if we'll get away with that with all of them. A good firm grip on that. Right. That one's been a bit more awkward. I'm not saying that, I think it's down to me missing more than anything else. And the inside back lining in the way. Let's try that one again. You're trying to do everything with just one pair of hands. Sometimes you can do it with another pair of hands. Right, let's try that again. And no, missed again. Right, let's try a different one. Actually, that one needs some holes drilling. So, I'm going to have to drill some holes in these straps to get them in. But you get a principle of the idea of, anyway. And then I'm going to put a piece of timber in here. So let's get that done and I'll come back to you. The worst of them in. Just going to bend over. Anybody seen my hammer? Where's that gone? Hey? Bend these lathes over and put a couple of staples in them. Okay, so tap these down. You can see these holes here. Take big gum and hopefully put a staple in there as well. Oh, missed. Okay, nearly out of staples there. Better look at them there. So that's the staples that we're using, approximately 1 inch long. So do that on all 4 sides. I know, confident that I'm not going to have any issues with that seat unit. Like I say, I'm surprised that they had issues with them, full stop. Those snapping on the front edge. It's quite an old sofa, or chair, sorry. But I've not seen that happen before. All I can do is suggest that well, I don't know. Let's not jump to any conclusions. Right, put that away. Always put your tools away, kiddies. You know where they are next time you want them then. There's my hammer. Right. Tap them down. Don't want them creating any unsightly lumps and bumps underneath the upholstery, do we? Or potentially even wearing their way through. Could happen. These back ones are a little bit long, they're going to need sanding down to fit. So that's the brand new replacement seat spring in. I'm going to put a piece of timber in the edge here, then a canvas over it, put the foam back in it, and then get the seat done. So it's going to be a busy morning. I want to try and get this done today, but I am expecting customers, so I'll try and video as much of this as I can, but I need to crack on now. So back soon. Here we have it with the seat in it now. Relatively straightforward. I haven't pulled off the side of the arms or the back yet. I'm just about to do that. So this gap that you can see here will be closed up. Because the seat unit, it acts with a sprung seat unit as one individual unit. So you pull everything down tight. Whereas in some cases with the seat you would staple it up, but because with this spring unit everything has to be stapled down because this acts as an independent platform. Let's stand it up so you can see the underside. That might explain it a little bit better for you. So there you have the underside of the seat, and you see this sprung unit here, and then we've got the timber in the front rail here. This allows this front edge to move more uniformly rather than, especially with some three-seaters and so on, where you've got this sprung edge. What you find is where somebody sits on the sofa at one end, the spring unit will collapse the front edge because the weight isn't being evenly distributed along the whole length of it. So I like to put a piece of timber in the top of that front edge, just to spread that weight out a bit further and help prevent that from happening. I've done it here with this just so that this seat unit comes nice and level with the front of these arms. But I'll just pop the camera down and give you a close-up of this spring unit so you can see what it's like. Okay, sorry the lighting's quite poor here, but that gives you an idea of the sprung unit. Now, I'm very surprised that the one that was in there had even broke. It broke along here. These had snapped. Now, I would suggest for these to snap something, well, I have an idea, but I don't want to say it. the reason why that's happened. Let's just say somebody was constantly sitting on the front edge of that sofa. So anyway, that's a sprung unit, very durable, very rarely need to replace them, but I have had to in this particular case. So I now need to staple these bits of fly down. There's the seat, you can see that there. Get the outside arms on, outside back, facings, job done. So I will come back to you when it's done and show you the finished item when it's on the floor. Unfortunately, I haven't got the back cushion fill. I'm still waiting for that, and that's not going to be here till next week now. So it won't be in this particular video, but you'll get the gist of it just without the cushions in it. I may fill the seat cushion and be missing the back cushion. So I'll come back to you at that point. So there you have it. It's done, bar the back cushion. Well, the back cushion is cut and sewn up, but we are missing the fill. There you go, and there's what it was in originally. So there you go. It's a little bit different. I think it looks very smart. It's come out really well. We've got a new seat in it, an entirely new seat spring in it that you've seen, a new foam cushion. We've got new fibre fill that should be here next week. And it's ready to go back to the customer at that point. So there you have it. Going to be very busy next week. I'll try my best to keep you up to date, but we're picking up a lot of furniture next week for a local hospital, and I've got a piece of booth seating and some cushions that I need to do before then, and a spring repair picking up. So I'm going to be very busy now. If there's anything interesting coming through, I will certainly try to take the time and give you an update with what's going on. So as always, these aren't really meant to be instructional, but if you pick up anything along the way, that's great. If you have any questions, drop me a message and I'll do my best to answer them as best I can. So there you have it, another week over. Put the cover over this and put it out of the way and crack on with the next one. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll keep putting the content out there so long as we're getting subscribers, so please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheerio for now. Bye bye.